course of doing your interviews and whatnot can really say a lot about you and your comfort level. And sort of asking for what you need, not making a big deal about it, not being shy about it. I mean, something you probably want to practice, but I mean, you pull that off. That's a major plus. And that's something that if you folks are interested in doing, I think, or something where you're going to be doing a lot of interviewing, think about that a little bit. You can really take something, I mean, people will be very impressed if you take something where maybe they're maybe inclined to be uncomfortable or something like that, and you put them at ease. Again, even if what I am hiring you for is to do some major M&A work or some major security litigation, that still is a transferable skill that as a hiring partner I would want. I will snatch that up.
All right, well, I can ask another question. Curious, what do you guys think, we've talked a little bit about, getting involved with disability stuff within law school. What other things would you recommend that students with disabilities do to kind of enhance their applications when they're applying for jobs in both the private and the public sectors?
I was a RIM board commissioner. I ran for public office when I started law school. I was an advocate for the Lawyers Association before going to law school. So some of those kinds of things I started doing with building advocacy kind of skills to already show that I could be an advocate. Besides working for the summers and other things, I think it's just important that whether it's like clubs, taking a leadership position, I mean, just coming to something like this shows how serious you are about your career, that you're not just letting it happen, you're very proactive in it. I think that other kinds of things outside of law school too are just really important to show that you're a well-rounded person as well.
One of the things that I think this group is much better prepared to handle than certainly my graduating class is really the power of your own network. And this is something you can really work on and build now while you're in school. And and you can practice at client events like this one. It is supremely important. Unfortunately for me, I really didn't get the knack of it until I had one firm and then the second one implode. And then, what do you know? I have a built-in network. I didn't have to really work on all that. But I had to do a lot of scrambling in the last couple of times I've had to get jobs because the firms went under. And, that skill and that ability to reach out to a lot of different people that you've known in different capacities and in different ways is absolutely critical. If you are interested, speaking from someone who spent 12 years doing work in large law firms, if you're thinking of going that route and have ambition for being a partner, let me tell you, you need to think about business development early on. All of that really just starts with priming or networking skills and getting to know people. I thought that I needed to network with people to ask them for work. This is wrong. You don't need to start there. You just need to build relationships. This is stuff that you guys are much better at than my class was, for sure. But keep up with that. Really max that out. The other thing that I realized is, one of the sort of areas to do a lot of networking is, I sort of perceived as I went off to law school, I've been doing disability work. And I decided I wanted to become part of I wanted to be an economy contributor. That meant a lot to me. And that's one of the reasons I went to law school. I wanted to, be part of that system and be active and be contributing and all those other things. And I ran away pretty much 180 degrees from, from the disability community. And it's odd that I really came back to it in earnest only since I got back to Microsoft. And, obviously there's all sorts of, cool people in this community. But, it is powerful to be involved with your community. And a lot of what I hear, well, we're all sort of nervous about, presenting ourselves and how to, in some ways, disclose ourselves as members of the community. I mean, I kind of think that, if there's anything with the pendulum swinging different ways, is that we have an opportunity with the interest in the Berkeley to start coming back together as a community. And you guys in particular can really be a force for that. The fact that we have this conference is sort of evidence of that. I mean, I don't know that we would have, thought of such a thing, around my time right before that. I mean, this is really powerful. So I want to suggest that you guys sort of think about sort of responding to things. And yes, that is a little bit playing defense. And you have to do that sometimes. But, think about going on offense. Think about using this as a source of power, keeping in touch with your community as a source of, personal comfort and power, and sort of bringing folks along. This is something you guys can do. And something you can do now, sort of to know it, what you can do now that's going to help you later. That'd be one of my suggestions.
I would just add to that. I mean, I feel like that was something that really helped me. Was I was lucky. I kind of got roped into Nallswood. I didn't feel lucky at the time, but in 2007, and it just ended up being a really amazing thing. I mean, I had done some advocacy work on behalf of people living with paralysis, but I had never really identified with like the broader disability community, or even thought about what does it mean to be disabled and what are disability rights and that kind of thing. And so to get involved with Nallswood and sort of to learn about that and then also sort of come to try and own it was really empowering. And I think that it really helped me get to where I am today. I mean, it helped me get my job at EPA, and and I just think that it's a good thing to really own your disability and to not let it be framed by other people.
This is great. I love being on the same panel as you guys. I completely agree with what you're saying, and I think one of the huge changes has been that you guys exist as an organization and that we have a critical mass here. I tried to start a disability group in my day, and there were 3 people who came, one of whom had a learning disability and who wouldn't be out about it. I mean, he just refused to let anyone else know besides our small group. So the strength in numbers maxim is really true, and the other ways in which I see us progressing as a community is that we are not as balkanized. The disability community really used to be the wheelchair users who are coming out of Vietnam and folks who are blind who have had a long history of advocacy. And as we understand disability more and as people come out more around having disabilities, I think we strengthen the movement and you strengthen your position by working with folks across disabilities. In terms of the really practical issue of what to do now to prepare for getting a job later, I want to emphasize a couple of things. One is that unless you're planning to go into academia, that you want to be a law professor, you should recognize that the coursework you're doing is essentially irrelevant, right? I mean, it has nothing to do with practicing law.
I want to be a law professor. It's irrelevant.
So if you want to actually see what practicing law is like, consider doing some clinics. The clinical work is going to give you a real taste of that. And to build on one of the things that Stuart was saying is that client interaction